Hey guys, Dan the Shoe Man here. Hope you're doing great. One of the top questions we get all the time when people come into our store is I need a comfortable but supportive shoe. They might need it because they're walking a lot, they might need it for their job, they might need it just for general mobility purposes, but we get a lot of questions about comfort and support together. And so today I'm going to do a review of 4 styles put out by SAS or San Antonio Shoes that I think meet the needs for both comfort and support and can also work for walking, general mobility, or standing for long periods of time at your job. Because this is my first review of an SAS shoe, I thought I'd go over some of the common characteristics that you find in many of the SAS shoes. First off, SAS shoes are made with polyurethane soles, solid polyurethane soles. What's important about that is that's a more durable sole than, generally speaking, than EVA soles, which most other shoes are made out of. It's a firmer material, so it creates stability at the base, and that's really where you want that stability because it's where you make contact with the ground. It's kind of similar to having a strong foundation for your house. You're making contact with the ground. When you make contact, you want to make sure you have the stability at the source of contact. The other benefit of polyurethane, again, is that durability. The reason it tends to be more durable is it's actually filled with millions of microscopic holes caused by air, whereas EVA is a blown material, and so those air holes are much larger, and over time they collapse. That's why a lot of people complain about some of their athletic shoes not feeling as good maybe 6 months later, depending on what they're using them for, because those actual air holes have collapsed, versus polyurethane with being microscopic, they don't really collapse as easily. SAS has removable footbeds in almost all of their shoes, so you can remove the footbed. You can put an orthotic in there, or if you have a different kind of footbed that you prefer. I know people that run and do stuff sometimes have that. So most of their shoes, if not all their shoes, actually have a removable footbed. The other thing that they're known for is this tripod comfort system. So this is a patented technology they use. This green thing back here, this green circle you see, it's made out of a material called poron, which is a specialty urethane. It apparently never loses its resiliency, antibacterial, and they actually put it here in the heel and the ball of the foot. Some of their shoes, they have it going the whole length of the shoe, but what that does is it provides cushioning at the point of contact, your heel and the ball of your foot, which make the most contact with the shoe and the ground. That's where they put it for, and it's also when you're standing, they make the most contact, the heel and the ball. Again, make just like contact, they make the most, and so they actually put that there so that it's actually added comfort. If it's a lace-up shoe, you'll see there's an easy lace system. Trying to see probably on this shoe, it's a little bit easier to see. You can see there's an easy lace system. You pull on the laces, it will lace all the way up, gives you that snug and comfortable fit. The other thing that they're known for is most of their shoes are made out of, if it is a leather shoe, it's top grain leather. That's the outside of the cowhide. That's actually a more conforming type of leather than maybe split grade or bifurcated or some of the other leathers. There's no real rules to leather, but top grain leather, it's also very durable. It's kind of what the cow uses to protect itself, its first layer of skin. Lastly, they also provide sizes and widths. And so not all manufacturers do that, but they're well known. They have over 90 size and widths in most shoes for ladies and over 100 size and widths for men's shoes. And so what we can do here at the store is when we're fitting you, we can get pretty close to a custom fit, which again adds additional comfort. It adds additional stability to the shoe itself and to you feeling more comfortable about that shoe because it's not sloppy or too tight around your foot. In America here, we tend to fit our widths. That'll be a different video that I'll do one of these days. But yes, we tend to fit our widths, so we're willing to give up length, so we might go shorter or longer depending on the width of our foot in order to fit that width and make it more comfortable. With SAS, you don't have to do that because they have so many sizes and widths for you to fit. The first shoe I'm going to talk about that I feel meets the criteria for comfort and support is actually called the Tour, which is, it looks like an athletic shoe for ladies, or the Journey, which is the same foundation, made on the same last, men's last, women's last, but basically is the same shoe in the men's version. The Tour and the Journey come in both mesh and leather. Sorry, I was holding up the JV mesh before. So they come in both leathers as well as various meshes. This is actually the JV mesh, which means Journey Velcro mesh. And this is the TMV, which means Tour Velcro mesh. So Tour mesh Velcro, So that's the various, on the men's side, they've also come up with an athleisure line that includes shoes such as the Venture, the Camino. They have some luxe editions in both the Tour and the Journey. So this has been a very popular shoe. And the thing that makes this shoe so popular is just like all SAS shoes, has that solid polyurethane sole. This one happens to have an outer rubber sole for additional grip. But the biggest thing is it has a stabilization system in it. You see here, I grabbed this shoe, I can't turn this shoe very easily. It kind of holds you in place. It's firmer in the sole, and because of the stabilizer, it actually tries to put your foot in a proper position while you're walking or standing, which happens to be a little bit of pronation. And so that's what's so great about this. This combined with orthotics creates a real stable platform, helps a lot of people that have either foot problems or ankle problems, knee problems. Just a great shoe has become very, very popular in the SAS lineup, and so it's the Tour, Journey, JV Mesh, or the TMV. Very popular because of the stabilization that comes built into this particular shoe. The next shoe that SAS has come out with, which has also become fairly popular, and it has a bit of innovation that they've come up with, is actually called the Walk Easy for ladies. It's the Move On for men. It also has a Velcro variety, which is the Step Out for ladies, and a slip-on version for men, which is called the Cruise On. So these are the 4 different types of the Walk Easy. The thing that the Walk Easy has, as you can see, is it actually has a roller bottom. Hopefully you can see this in this video, but it's a little bit of a roller bottom here. Heel to toe is the common way that we walk, heel toe strike. And what this does in particular, the shoe, is it actually kind of creates that roller that rolls your foot forward. There's actually a shank in the arch for added support. And this does a great job. It has a very nice arch support system. It does a great job of actually distributing the weight between the heel, the ball, and the arch of the foot, so you get equal distribution across the foot. It kind of alleviates some of the weight off the heel and the ball of the foot. Again, that shank when you're walking prevents it from collapsing underneath you. A solid polyurethane sole. One of the things that they have also put in here is what they call S-motion technology, and to my knowledge they're the only ones that have this S-motion technology. The S-motion technology is acts like a spring. It helps the person spring forward a little bit, and it makes walking a little less taxing and a little bit easier, which is why they call it the Walk Easy. So great little shoe. This one happens to be made out of a waxbuck leather, which is just a beautiful leather, really holds up, very resilient. Same with this particular color called Camel for the Move On, but it also comes in plain leathers as well. The classic Mary Jane look is what they've decided to make the Step Out in. All of these work. I like this one in particular if anybody has any kind of instep, especially if you have high arches and you have a high instep. Lots of times this shoe will fit you, or if you have any kind of little swelling around the instep, this shoe can help quite a bit in that regard. The next shoe that I want to talk about is actually one of SAS's heritage shoes. It's an iconic shoe for them. For the ladies, it's actually called the Freetime. This shoe has been in the lineup for quite some time, but it still is a very popular shoe. Has great toe box depth, as does most of the other shoes I've already talked about. Has great toe box depth, solid polyurethane sole. In the men's, it's actually called the Time Out. And then they do, in both men's and ladies, they have a Velcro version. This is the men's version called the VTO, and the Me Too is the ladies' version. looks pretty similar to the Freetime, but with Velcro. And then more recently, they've kind of brought forward the Freetime and created the FT mesh, which is starting to be made on the same last. Everything's the same except it's made out of a mesh material as opposed to the full leather shoe that the Freetime is made of. The biggest benefit this shoe has that I've found is that it actually tries to balance you when you're standing or walking. And so what do I mean by that? I mean that it actually tries to make your hips align over your knees and over your ankles so you're straighter. And so we tend to walk a little bit forward when we walk, but this tries to bring you a little bit back. It's not really a negative heel, but it does try and align you over your hips, over your shoes, so that it feels a little bit more comfortable to walk, a little bit more stable to walk. Again, like the other ones, great toe box depth. When we walk, we want to actually have our toes kind of separate and move forward. We want enough room to do that. That's another reason the size and width that SAS provide are so beneficial to us, because we can create that scenario to get that toe spread and to get the ability to give you enough room to have those toes move forward. If you actually have a narrow foot and you go shorter, you might not get that same ability to do that. So again, the Freetime, Timeout, just iconic heritage shoes by SAS, still very popular. Again, removable footbed, so you can put in orthotic if you need it. So this is another shoe that if you're going to come in and you want a comfort and stable shoe, this is one of those we're going to try. The newest shoe to the lineup that meets these criteria, and it's a little bit different because it's the Tour and the Journey were, if you want to look at them, were more of a walking shoe. Certainly can do other activities, but standing and walking, very popular. The Journey is for men that have to stand on concrete or work on concrete. But more recently, SAS was engaged by the U.S. military. They decided to develop a PT program for shoes, and they came to SAS and asked them to actually create an athletic shoe for them. So that is called the Tempo or the Pursuit, and these were actually shoes that were developed for the U.S. military for their PT program. My understanding is one of the reasons they asked SAS to develop this shoe is because of their expertise in using polyurethane soles. This is, again, a solid polyurethane sole. It's my understanding that these polyurethane soles, and I've talked to some people that are runners that use these shoes, that these can last 2 to 3 times longer than other types of shoes that are out there. So the big benefit to this from the standpoint is that polyurethane sole. It is less firm than some of the other shoes, so because it's made for more additional athletic endeavors, so it is a little less firm than that. It certainly has a wide base for stability purposes, but again, another great shoe that they've developed recently that we've put into our arsenal when someone wants something that is both comfortable and supportive. Hope this helps. I hope I've given you some ideas of some shoes that you might try if you're looking for a shoe that's comfortable and supportive, whether it's because you're out there walking as the weather has changed, you're looking at it from just a pure standing standpoint, you work on concrete, you got to stand in retail all day, you work at a lab, or if there's just general mobility problems. We think here at the SAS store in Charlotte and dantheshoeman.com that we can really help you with your needs. So come on down and see us. Thank you and have a great day.